Hello and welcome to my tarot corner. So whenever I have two tarot decks on the table, you know that I am going to start at least with a comparative SOS reading. And that is why, because I want to understand exactly how does William feel about the fact that Harry used their mother's memory so much in the Netflix documentary. That was really despicable. He used the panorama interview that both of them agreed that it will never air again. He compared his wife to Diana in every way possible. And, just thinking about what is happening in Twitter today in regard to the journalist who wrote that article in Politico. I don't know if you know what is going on there, but that journalist who is Jewish is called Joanna Weiss. Weiss is white in German. And the Sussex squad are attacking her in the most vile ways that you can even think about. They are putting pictures of emancipated prisoners in concentration camps during the Holocaust and writing anti-Semitic slurs and even threats like Jews, have you forgotten what happened to you, and things like that. Now, I am Jewish. I am third generation Holocaust survivor. I am writing the story of my grandmother's survival. It is really difficult for me to handle. I mean, I tweeted about it, but it is really difficult for me. And just to think that this kind-hearted and this amazing woman is paying those people, and she did not stand out against that. She did not come out and say, I do not accept this kind of conduct. She did not come out and in defense of that journalist. And as I don't know who was the one who said that, very famous quote, I do not agree with you. I think that Rosie wants to go out, so I'm going to let her out. Okay, so she's out. So the famous quote, I don't remember who said it, but it is, I do not agree with you, but I will die in defense of giving you the freedom of speech. And this is exactly what Meghan should have done. She should have come out and say, I do not agree with what this reporter has said, but she has the freedom of speech to say her mind. And the Sussex squad should not attack her, and especially not with anti-Semitic slurs like that. And I did not want to get into that too deep, but if any Sussex squatty is listening, I just need to remind them that their queen used to be Jewish. Okay, so this reading is not about that, because I cannot read about that in a peace of mind. I am too much involved with this, and this is not a reading that I can clear the energies and do it with a clear mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an SOS reading to determine what kind of energies was William feeling when he saw his mother's name and his mother's image used in the Netflix documentary, because there were two possible feelings. I suppose he had a mix of both of them, but one is probably more stronger, let's say, than the other, and one is anger and the second one is frustration. And the first reading is going to be to determine which one was stronger in William's heart or mind, or which energy was the one that determined his actions, or the way that he felt those days, or when he heard what his brother did. And then I will decide which spread I'm using according to what feeling I'm getting that is stronger, whether it's anger or frustration. Okay, so before I start, please take a few moments to read my full disclaimer in the description box. This is a tarot reading. It is vibrational. It is open to interpretation. It exists as assumptions and speculation, and as such may or may not be true, so please do your own research and decide for yourselves. So for this reading, I'm using two wintry decks. One is the Winter WAITE Tarot, and the other is the Winter MJAGIC Tarot. And I am just, I will explain to you how the reading is done. What I'm doing is I am clearing both decks. Right now, I'm just shuffling both decks, so I will know that both of them are shuffled. Then I'm starting with clearing the deck, asking the question and taking 3 cards for each of the feelings. And the main card, which is the middle card on both readings, is the answer card. And and we determine the answer by the main card. Now, if it is impossible to determine because both of them are major arcanas, for example, or because both of them are equal in the way that in their message, then we look at the side cards. But mostly the side cards are not as important as the middle card. Okay, so I want to show you my new ring. I bought it today. It was only $10, and I bought it in the place where I pick up the mail. There is because our mail. The post office was not functioning too well. The mail or the packages, that we get was diverted to, many of it was diverted to private companies, and then it comes to all sorts of private shops. And most of the mail is coming to this cosmetics parlor, and in that cosmetic parlor, the beautician, she really loves crystals, and she has a lot of jewelry, and I actually buy a lot of my cosmetics there, and she has a lot of jewelry. And I saw this ring today, and I asked her how much it will be, and she gave me this amazing discount, and it only cost $10, so I had to buy it. So it's a little bit too big on my small hand, but I couldn't resist it. Okay, so let's start. So today I am with statement readings. So let's start. So this deck is going to be for frustrations, and this deck is going to be for anger. And I'm going to start with the frustration and clearing the deck. So Was Prince William feeling frustrated when he saw how his brother was using their mother name and the panorama interview and was comparing his wife to their mother in the Netflix documentary? Was William frustrated when he saw how his brother used their mother's name, how he used the panorama interview, how he's comparing his wife to their mother all the time? Was or is William frustrated by the use of the mother and her reputation and the woman that she was by Harry? So as in all SOS readings, locking it and taking, splitting in half and taking 3 cards. So I'm going to put them here. And I'm going to put this aside. Sorry, this one goes here. And now let's clear this deck. And let's start asking. So was Prince William angry when he saw how his brother is using the mother's name and the panorama interview and how his brother is comparing his wife to their mother, Diana? Was William angry by Harry's use of the mother's name, her reputation, the panorama interview, the way that he compares his wife to the mother? Was Prince William angry when he saw how Harry is using their mother's name, their mother's reputation, the panorama interview, and comparing his wife to their mother, Princess Diana? So once again, locking that and cutting in half and taking 3 cards. So as I said, first of all, we're looking at the middle card in both decks, and we're looking at the stronger card. So first of all, I want to say, when we get a major arcana and we get a card that is a suit card is always stronger because it is always, because it is more down to earth. So it's more viable than a court card, than a major arcana that is more in the spiritual realm. And the same for court cards and suits, because court cards are people that usually lose opportunities, so they are weaker than the suits themselves. But then we need to look at what kind of cards we're looking at. So let's see what cards do we get for frustration. So the first card, the card for frustration, is a major arcana, and it's the moon, but it is the mother card. It is the mother card, so it is very strong here. Because it's the mother card, the moon card is a mother card, and it is a card of mental health problems. It is a card of we need to talk about it. So this is a strong card for frustration, okay? Because of the meaning of this card. If we had another major arcana, then I would say that it's not as strong. But this one is very strong because of the meaning of the card. But let's see what we get for the other, for the that was the frustration for the anger, and for the anger we're getting the Page of Wands. So the Moon card is stronger than the Page of Wands, because the Page of Wands is a card of energy of freedom. It's an energy of learning and studying, but it's also the energy of jumping from one bandwagon to another bandwagon. So it's not that he wasn't angry, but it was much more frustration. But let's look at the cards that come on this side. So for the Page of Wands, we have on this side the Nine of Wands, which shows us that for William it was like, wait a minute, I will put it here. For William it was like he was bracing himself for the next obstacle. That Nine of Wands is standing towards the next obstacle, believing that after you go through all of those obstacles, then everything will be okay. So this is a card that shows that William, in a way, was waiting for Harry to jump on the next bandwagon, because he is doing that all the time, and bracing himself for the next blow, for the next thing that that Harry will throw his way. And as you can see, both of these images are looking, or at least she's not looking at him, but her body is leaning towards him, and he's looking at her, a little bit even frightened. And on the other side, we get the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is going towards the Page of Wands. So the Six of Swords is a card of vacation. It's also a card of someone who is running away, getting away from turbulent waters to something that is more convenient to him. So we can even tell the story here. Harry took his wife and child and ran away, and then he started jumping from one bandwagon to another bandwagon, throwing all sorts of wands or obstacles or all sorts of arrows at his family. And William is standing there, taking all of those arrows, taking all of those obstacles, and bracing himself towards the one more obstacle. So there is anger here, there is no doubt. But because the Moon card is the Mother card, and we are talking about the way that he feels about the way that Diana was used here, I feel that the Moon card is more is stronger here. But let's see what we have on the side. So on this side we have the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups is a card of letting go. It's also a Moon card. It's also a Mother card. So we have two Mother cards here, and we are talking about a mother. So this is a very strong spread for a mother, and for frustration about the fact that Harry keeps on using his mother's name. So the Eight of Cups is the energy of even letting go, even giving up the struggle, because William just cannot take that anymore. He wants to go away. He wants to leave it all. He wants to just let it go. He doesn't want to deal with that any longer. He just wants to he wants to cut it off. He doesn't want to go on with this struggle with his brother. He wants to go on with his life. He wants to leave that behind him. Okay, on the other side we get the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune is about getting the control and about taking your destiny in your own hands. And this is another major arcana. So this is a very spiritual spread that, if it wasn't the Mother card, if it wasn't so much connected to the Mother, I wouldn't say that this one is winning. But because of the interpretation of this card, this one is a stronger spread. So I'm going to go with frustration. So I'm going to leave the Winter Magic card away and Winter Magic's deck aside. And so let's put it back in the box and put these cards back. I'm just going to do that in a very sporadic way. Okay, so let's just shuffle a little bit more. So we can make sure that we are getting the new energies of the frustration. Okay, so let's clear the deck. And let's start asking. So, William's frustration at Harry's consistent use of their mother's name. William's frustration at Harry's use of Diana's name, of the use of parts of the panoramic interview, of constantly comparing his wife to Princess Diana. William's frustration at Harry's constant use of his mother and their mother, and his own trauma at losing their mother, and the way that he remembers their mother and the things that he believes that their mother would have wanted for him, and the things that she would have done differently today. So how does William deal with that frustration, and how can he move forward from this frustration? William's frustration at Harry's constant use of the mother, Princess Diana of Wales, for gain and to monetize her name in his Netflix documentary and probably in his book as well. Okay, I'm going to just close that door so there won't be any noise. Okay, so let's cut the deck. And now I'm going to start taking. So the first card is the current frustration, which actually describes how William feels currently. And the card that I'm getting is the Star. And the Star is the card that, first of all, it has quite a few meanings. So firstly, it's a card of loving feelings, of naivety. And I think that in a way, William is frustrated because he feels that Harry's naivety is being used here. Then I want you to pay attention to the fact that the woman here is not naked. Okay, usually in the star card, the woman is naked. And the card of the star is also about having secrets. It's about a Pandora box. It is a very emotional card. There is a lot of water here. And it is also a card of mental health problems. So this is a card of troubles that come up. This is a card of secrets that can be opened. And this woman is dressed because it's cold outside, okay, it's winter, but also because there are a lot of secrets that she's hiding. So in a way, Prince William is frustrated because he feels that Harry is just putting their mother out there naked without any clothes on. He's exposing her to the world in a way that she would never have wanted. Now, remember that Diana was very savvy with the paparazzi. She would call them. She had a very long and good relationship with some or many reporters that knew a lot of things about her, and she would call reporters. She would use the media to her benefit. So she knew how to use the media to her benefit. She also knew how to put the boundaries. So she knew how to put out the information that she wanted to put and to conceal the things that she didn't want to put. And here comes Harry, and in his naivety, he lets Meghan just expose their mother in a way that I don't think that Diana would have ever wanted to be exposed this way. So William is frustrated because he feels that this is like a Pandora box that is opened. This is about in this arrogant way that Harry feels that Diana belongs to him, that she's only his mother. This is about Harry's self-illusion that Diana is, that Meghan is a Diana 2.0. This is about a person that has a tendency to surrender to another person. Once again, I'm looking here at the negative aspects of the star because we are looking at reasons for frustration, or of the current frustrations of William. Now, it's not only because Harry's using Diana. It's deeper than that. So we're looking at the deeper causes, and the deeper causes is because he's seeing his brother, and he still loves his brother no matter what. I mean, it is his brother. So he sees his brother surrendering to another person that can harm him. A person that is harming him. He is not talking really about the problems. He's afraid of talking about his problems. He's blocked. And this is a card that shows that William is really frustrated because he sees how Harry is exposing their mother. He is coming out with all of the secrets, he's opening the Pandora box for the whole world to see. So that is the current frustration. Now, why is it bothering Prince William so much? And the card that I'm getting is the Devil. Okay, so we got the Devil before with William's yearly reading. Now we're getting it here again, and I'm not surprised at all, because this is why William is bothered. He sees his brother being drawn by the darkness of the devil. He sees his brother being shackled by the devil. He sees him being submitted to urges, submitted to all sorts of addictions. He sees him neglecting himself. Really, if you're looking at, well, at Harry, he is neglected. He is not groomed. He's not, he always looks so miserable, and he's not, I mean, you can look at his wife that looks like, really, she's dressed with designer clothes and has jewelry that worth thousands of dollars, and Harry is still dressed with the same polo shirt. So he sees that, and he sees that his brother is really going to the dark side, and he knows that he can do nothing about that. So this is why he's so bothered with it, because as I said before, he still loves his brother. To see his brother going into the devil's den, to see him lying to himself, to see him getting drawn by addictions, being used, pursuing pleasures, being very materialistic, neglecting himself, going into a self-destruction path, relying on all sorts of people that mislead him and deceive him. He sees his brother on this self-destructive path, and he cannot do anything to stop that. So this is very frustrating. This is really frustrating. This is like seeing a train wreck going to happen, and you can do nothing to stop it. Terrible. Okay, next card. Something that William can learn from this situation. And the card that I'm getting is the King of Swords. Wow, that's amazing, because I keep getting the same cards with William. And the King of Swords is the pacifier king. This is the king that is looking for an equilibrium. This is a king that is looking to find a way of pacifying everyone, appeasing everyone, especially in relationship. And what William needs to learn from this situation, this is something that I saw it on, if you know Liliani of Barbados channel. She said something about the fact that William needs to learn not to say anything. And this is something that the King of Swords needs to teach him. He needs to learn not to reply in any way. Because I understand that in the Netflix documentary, they showed the footage of William saying to the media after the Oprah interview that the royal family is certainly not a racist family. And they showed in the documentary Meghan talking about it to Tyler Perry, and they even showed the clip. So everything that William will be saying, everything that he might be saying can and will be used against him. Okay, so he needs to be very quiet, and it's very difficult, especially for a King of Swords. His swords is communication, so it's very difficult. And this is a card that is telling him to be very quiet and to be to try and be very appeased, and to try and pacify everyone around him, to ensure that nobody speaks, nobody gives any kind of reaction, because any reaction can and will be used against them, and any reaction, no matter what reaction, is fuel to the narcissist. So the best way to deal with this is not to say anything, not to give them any fuel. And this is the best way because this is driving Meghan crazy. The fact that they are not acknowledging her existence, this is driving her crazy. So that's the best way to deal with that. So Prince William really needs to be the King of Swords in a way that he needs to try and quiet everyone, to appease everyone, to make everyone around him feel safe, feel that they don't need to lash out at Harry, just learn to be quiet and not to lash out at Harry, because that's the best way to deal with that. Okay, next card is how can William let go of that negative feelings? How can he just move forward, let go of that? And what I'm getting here is the Five of Swords. So that's interesting because the Five of Swords is a card that speaks about getting off the fence, not being a fence sitter. So this is a card that is calling for some kind of action. Now, if you remember in the spread that I did for the SOS spread, we got the Six of Swords, which is the vacation card. But you cannot go to the vacation unless you take the right action when you are in the Five of Swords. So in order to be able to get the needed vacation or to shut Harry up, you need to make the right decision or to make the right, to do the right action when you are in the Five of Swords. So this card is telling William not to sit on the fence, to do something. And this is not about doing something regarding Harry. This is about doing something about himself. So this is about asking maybe for help, some kind of mental health help, some kind of way of getting someone that will help him to get off the fence, to do that action that will allow him to get some time off. So, because doing nothing is the worst. So this is a card that is telling him that he needs to not to isolate himself. He needs to really look for someone that will help him make that choice and think about how to deal with these things in a better way, but he really needs someone that will help him. So this is about going and asking for help. Usually the Five of Swords is an action card. So here it's not an action that towards Harry, because that will not help. So the action here is towards how he can help himself. So it could be a mental health specialist. It could be someone else that he trusts and that can help him. But it is it is swords, so it's air energy. It's talking about it, it's speaking about it, it's getting it off his chest. So this card is about not compromising, about not being passive, not sitting on the fence. So this is what this card is telling him. Next card is, okay, so how can he become more patient towards Harry? Or can he become even more patient towards Harry? And what I'm getting here is the Fool. Okay, so what I can tell you about the Fool is that the Fool is a card that is not giving us a straight answer, but the Fool is someone who is very much appreciative of his own freedom, but is also someone who is reckless, someone who is taking risks without obligations, and someone who is burning bridges behind him. So in this instance, I would say that the best way for Harry to be more patient towards, for William to be more patient towards Harry is to look at him and to as the fool. And not as the fool like he's a fool, because he is a fool, but to look at him and see and say, okay, so he needed that freedom. He needed to cut out. He needed some stay away time. Okay, he took some risks that he did not think about them all the way through. He started burning bridges behind him because he wasn't thinking very well. And this is a card that shows that this is a card that just describes Harry to the nine. So this card tells William how to look at Harry and how to interpret Harry. And that way he can just understand Harry and maybe not be so mad. This is in order to help William cope. This is not for Harry, this is for William, because anger and frustration, they eat you inside. So this is to help William. This is not for Harry's benefit in any way. This is just for William's benefit. So for William's benefit, the best way for him to be more the appeaser, to be someone who is more active and do something, is just to look at his brother and say, okay, so he's the fool. He's someone who is valuing his freedom so much that he was willing to take risks without thinking about it. He is jumping off the cliff, but he's not thinking about the fact that he might fall down and die, or just drown if there's an ocean down there. He's not thinking about the results, he's not thinking about the consequences, he's just thinking about the right now, he's not thinking about the future. He is very much influenced by the devil energy, and this is my way of dealing with that, is just looking at him, seeing that this is the way that he's acting. He's not thinking clearly, and he's using our mother's name, he's using everything because he's influenced by someone who's taking advantage of him being a fool, because he is a fool, because he cannot think straight, because he values his freedom so much that he cannot or do the considerations that he needs to do in a good way. Okay, so how can this is the card number. Wait a minute, that was card number 5. Okay, so what will change when William will let go of that frustration? What will change, and how will it be? So let's say, what will be the outcome? How will William become when he lets go of this anger, of this frustration, especially frustration? And the card that I'm getting here is the Lovers. So right after remember that the Lovers card is about being able to look at your life's pathway, looking at what is redundant from your life's pathway and cutting it out. So once William is able to deal with his frustration, once he's able to let go of that frustration, once he's able to be more more clear-minded and to be more calm. Once he's able to talk to someone that will help him to deal with that. Once he's able to see his brother as the fool and not as the devil, and just attribute the devil to the right person and not to his brother, because his brother is just being tagged along after the devil that is just shackling him. After that, he will be able to look at his own pathway and cut his brother out of that. Because right now, his brother is redundant. His brother is not helping him right now. Maybe in the future, he will be able to re-enter into William's pathway. But right now, he's not helping William in any way. So right now, William needs to cut him out. William needs to go on with his life and put Harry in a very, very distant compartment, as the compartment of the brother that I had, but he's not there any longer. He is right now far away, and we're not talking, and I don't care what he's doing. He is doing all sorts of things that I don't care. This is not connected to me. I don't care what he's doing. And just cut him out of his pathway completely. This is what he will be able to do once he handles his frustration, once he is able to do that necessary step of going to someone that will help him deal with that frustration. And this is why this action is so important. This is why he's being called not to sit on the fence, but to take an action. And this action is towards William, not towards Harry. To take action in order to help himself to get over and to become a better person, let's say a calmer person, someone who is not getting irritated so much by what his brother is doing. Okay, so that's the tarot, and today I'm going to use two oracle decks that I always confuse them, although they are very different, but something in them is always confusing me. So this one is the Magical Times Oracle. So let's start with this one, and I'm going to ask for a message for Prince William on dealing with his brother. Okay, so let's clear the deck. Message to Prince William on dealing with his nefarious brother. A message to Prince William on dealing with his nefarious brother. And the card that I'm getting is Power. Call upon your power. Focus your intention. The greatest dragon is within you. I'm just going to look. This is a very small booklet, so I'm not sure there is a lot more to say about it, but I'm going to check. Okay, so right now I look to the spirit within and I feel my inner power. I call upon the forces of nature for even more strength and direction. I will never waver from the task at hand, for this is my time. I will go forth with courage and I will succeed, for life and power are on my side. So that is the message for Prince William, and I think it's a great message for him. So this is it for this reading. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.